Okay guys, I am DM Zone, this is Gamers Oasis, let's get into it. Okay, as you can see, I've got many things changed, many things modified, some stuff not even done yet. I have tools everywhere, other stuff over here. I even have a separate camera angle. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. I'll disappear for a second, but I'm still here. And then boom, we come over here and I have this camera set up here. This camera here is not 100% set up the way I want yet. It's very difficult to reach as it is supposed to be like a wide thing, allow you to see more of the room and that type of stuff. Let me know what you think down below about these two angles. I'm going to be modifying this a little bit more, and I'm going to be having one more over here. Let me go back to the other camera so you can see where would that be. So from this camera, it'd be more over here. About the same distance, nice wide camera angle shot. So you can see over to this side of the room over here. And I just want to be able to alternate between different camera angles. I feel like that's upping my game just that much more. As you can see, though, I am playing Entropia Universe. I've gone ahead and got 2 more crafting runs. This is the last of the testing I did on Planet Toulan. If you remember before, and I'll link to these in the video description over here. I have done the Nissit. I have done the Brukite Stone Texture run. I did this initially because I was watching a Donald Wilson video where he was doing it and he had odd results. And I also had odd results. And I wanted to, before I did 30 days here, wanted to kind of verify what was going on and what I could do about it type of thing. What I've determined is that it is actually, when you're running at least these 3 blueprints, you're only getting Planet Toulan blueprints. You're not getting any of what I'm calling universal blueprints. None of the ones that you'd find on Calypso or ones you'd find on all planets like the Brukite Stone and all that type of stuff. I've done a total of 6,000 clicks between all 3 of these. I've not done 6,000 clicks of any one of those stones or 2,000 of any one of those stones, frankly, without getting at least something that is generic, either generic leather or the stone ones and that type of stuff. Some of the ones that are more specific, such as the leather ones that you find in the Cali book, obviously, those are probably going to be restricted to Rocktropia or to Calypso. But some of the one like the Hessian fabric, I would assume you could find here, but even those I haven't. I'm going to go talk real quickly about some other observations I made, but let's go over to the blueprints real quick so you can know what I found. I've ended up getting a cow spot texture, the jelly baby texture, which is a sort of a repeat. And then I got a reddish pink texture, and I got the luxury ornate texture, which is also a very red repeat, same as the reddish pink texture. Then there's jelly baby, the limited version, and then there's the reddish pink texture, the limited version. Some of the things to note is that there is a difference between the limited and unlimited, and it seems to be that the unlimited has more of a requirement with a sweat. So I don't know what to think about that, and it makes me want to look into specifically blueprints that require low TT cost items, such as items with sweat or stone and that type of stuff, and how that affects the blueprint itself. So it's going to be a while before I run those type of tests, but I want to run blueprints that cost vaguely the same, but one has a stone or sweat element, and then another one that basically has doesn't have that, and then see if there's a difference, and then see if I can predict that result on a different blueprint. I know I can predict the stones and that type of stuff, and of course when I get to the ones with sweat, I'll probably have several options there. But I'm interested to see if they have similar predictable results. Not sort of the scientific approach to this is to be able to make a theory and then prove it, and then to predict a theory on a different subject or group, and then that come true, and then repeat it. That's where we all are trying to go with this. It's trying to understand crafting more. And I know that I'm looking at the very intro level basic things of this. And I know that material constructor is far different than any of the other like components and that type of stuff, the electrical, the metal, the mechanical, and then getting into weapons is very different than those. So they all have like their own little subgroup. That is very important to note as well, because they're going to work differently. And when I understand, let's say, material constructor, then I understand and predict them. But it doesn't mean that those rules apply to those other groups. Also, each planet might be a little different too. So I'm really going to have to do a live in depth on this planet and see if I can predict that result on a different planet to prove whether this does or does not work that way, and then go from there. So we'll see. But as you can see here, I am getting more TT back on the Kaldon Stone Texture. I would expect to get more of that back. Brukite costs 1 TT plus that little asterisk of whatever the stone is. Nissit costs 2 PEK and TT plus that little asterisk, and then Kaldon, of course, is 3 TT plus or PEK of TT plus that little asterisk. I'm not going to be doing Rutol, Soper, and Truton. I'll save that maybe for the future. Oops. When I'm not trying to, well, it's very expensive to get into those. So it's going to take a long time to be able to get the funds to be able to do that, let alone the stone and all that type of stuff to go with it. If I did one, it'd probably be with Soper. And that's always kind of partially been started. But that's because I've saved basically all my stone. I did have one tragedy when I was leaving Planet Arcadia off of the moon. I got attacked by pirates and was killed, and I ended up losing about 800 Truton and about 500 Rutol. And that was pretty devastating. What the person I was flying with thought was the more valuable thing was the 7,000 stone of Brukite. And that was probably close, but not quite as much as those two. And those other two really hurt. I only had like 1,000. 1,100 of this Soper, and Soper is not terribly expensive. Excuse my cough. So this is kind of what I'm looking at with this. As you can see, I'm getting 2 of these videos done real quickly. Again, I don't necessarily think that it's the watching of the clicks going by that is the interesting part of a crafting video. I think the interesting part of a crafting video is always going to be the information that is gained from it, not necessarily watching the crafting go by. Now, this does not mean there's not a place for that. I just feel like maybe that is a more chill live stream. You're streaming, talking to your people while you craft, not AFK, of course. And, you know, that you could kind of vibe with that. So as I do a lot of these crafting things, I'm thinking about moving towards where I live stream these type of things. For sure will not be AFK. But I don't know how that's going to work. I have lots of painting stuff, as you can see over here, I believe. And that's going to be very interesting when I get everything up and going. I could maybe be painting D&D miniatures or whatever, and then be crafting, and then when someone comes in the chat to talk or whatever, or just chill, they could do that, play royalty-free music on there, then turn those into actually my season of crafting videos, kind of like what you're seeing right here, but done a little bit differently, and then add a whole heap of information, make it a 15 to 20 minute video, kind of like what I've got going on right here, and then sort of reusing it, but not really. The real purpose is the YouTube version, and then the personal connection, being able to talk with me and everything, is the live stream. And I think that's going to be an interesting aspect of things. I don't think I'm necessarily going to be doing hunting stuff. Maybe I might. The problem with getting into hunting and live stream is it kind of becomes a small arms race. The more amount of ped, the larger the creature. I'm going to stop watching you because you're just hunting yogs on Monria, and this guy's over here hunting, the big hulks or whatever they're called on Calypso. And that's way more exciting when the Hoff hits. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm over analyzing this and I haven't actually got my feet into that. We'll see when we get there. What I can speak to is this crafting on Toulan. I have decided to put Toulan not in season 2. It will come back. Season 2 will be on Monria. I'm going to build up my general engineering. I don't know what my goal is for that yet. I like to say probably 3,500. That's about 1,000, a little more than 1,000 points from what I've already done. So that'd probably be a good goal. And we start getting to the 3,500 points. You don't get that much back in returns. Now those are going to be far less interesting than when I, click the turn in the rewards and I get like 10 different skill profession jumps. So I'm probably going to have to find some way to make that more interesting when I get that figured out, or as we get closer to season 2, I'll probably talk more about that. I'm not going to be talking about season 2 a whole lot between now and then. I will say, though, that if you've been watching this long, I appreciate it. And let me know down in the comments below. But I plan to start season 1 crafting and do a series of release of videos, 3 a week at minimum, as well as I'm going to be doing some Ascension videos for NI for like beginner players. All that's going to be starting the first week of July, and then it's going to run about 6 months. The first season of Crafting 1 is actually 31,000 runs, and whenever I do Toulan, that's how I'm going to do it. But when I go to Mondria, I'm probably going to do 1,500 clicks, even if I don't need 1,500 clicks, just because I'm going to be leveling blueprints over there. And 1,500 is what I need for a level or brand new blueprint to get 500 clicks guaranteed without having to go do more. I actually need about 1,250, but 1,500 just makes a more round number. So I'm going to be doing that to level or break open new blueprints every now and then. And then when I get maybe my engineering to 5,000, I'm going to probably be done on Monria. And I don't know if that's going to be season 3 or 4, but that's about when I'm going to be looking to be done with that. And then I'm going to come back to Monria, and I'm going to get my machinery higher. Machinery is one of these that I kind of have isolated off. I've never really made anything that improves machinery. So every point of machinery is one I got from doing this. And the blueprints I'm using do not raise machinery. So it's kind of like a way to really isolate that skill out and to see how many ped is into it. I also have a thing that's good long term. Just know when I start talking about my plasma weapon engineering or plasma weapon skill, I should say, that this has already started. So when I break into that in a year plus and show you something really cool, know that I'm already doing this stuff now. Not just the planning, but physically actually doing this now. But we'll get into that. I have a weapon in mind for the plasma stuff that's pretty cool, and I'm going to go down that road a little bit. Eventually, I don't know where my crafting will take me. I'm looking really hard at carpentry. I'm looking really hard at tailoring because they have such great synergy with material constructor. But I don't know if that's a direction I'm actually going to go. My original thought was I wanted to be an armor. I don't know if that's going to be the direction I want to go. I see the value in making weapons. And frankly, it comes so second nature because I'm already a laser weapon guy and I'm already got decent BLP. And if I raise my plasma, I literally have that. The only one I won't have is gauze. And there's some thoughts on that. And of course, space weapons. I don't even know what those do, but I'm assuming gauze. But let's just say that, you know, I'm going to pick the direction I want to go in the future. But for right now, I'm seeing great synergy with going with material engineer and the component. So anyways, more about that all later. We'll get into that way later. So kind of rambled on long enough. I'm going to be doing Toulan blueprints though on Toulan, and anyone that is trying to make or use a blueprint on Toulan, if you're doing material constructor at least, I can't tell you about the others or speak to them really a whole lot. My recommendation is to make use a Toulan one. Pick up a cheap one that you feel like you can run a lot, run that until you get the one you want, and then run the heck out of that, or just skip it entirely. Your choice. There's a lot of great options with it. Toulan textures are really cool. It's really hard to get the stuff for it because people aren't hunting it. So if you're not wanting to hunt it, don't expect to find a market to go buy 5,000 of whatever you need. You're just not going to find that unless someone is selling everything they have. The market's pretty small. So if you're willing to go farm 5,000 texture pieces so you can do a 5,000 run, then more power to you. But anyways, we'll save that for a future video. Okay guys, this has been DM Zone. Hope you guys like this. If you like the setup, let me know down below. If you see anything I need to fix, they're like my stool, which I'm going to be moving, my little ladder. Just let me know in the comments. Appreciate all you guys' support. Sorry it's been so long since I've had a vlog or any type of video. I've had a lot of changes, this being one of them. But I'll get more into that in future videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys starting next month with a vlog and a whole bunch of videos on Toulan. And we will, and of course, some videos on Next Island too. So appreciate you guys' support on Next Island videos, especially because that's going to help get me towards my Ascension armor. But I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. Have a great day and keep her in that bed. Bye.